How you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. Today we're looking at Marvel Feature number 1. Now, this is not the Defenders number 1. This is Marvel Feature number 1. Presents the Defenders. So Marvel Features was a showcase series. Pardon me. One of the things that Stan Lee did when he took over from being a Marvel Comics writer and editor to its president and publisher was he made a 3 different comic series that were like showcase comics. One of them was Marvel Features, one of them was Marvel Spotlight, and the other one was Marvel Premiere. And what they were was a little bit of a, good idea, a little bit of like, I don't know, mercenary idea, in that every issue they would showcase something new to see, throw the spaghetti at the wall, see what sticks. One issue would be the Defenders. One issue would be the Thing teaming up with somebody else. One issue would be Ghost Rider. And if it was popular, if people like it, then they could swing it into its own comic, which is exactly what they did with Ghost Rider, which is exactly what they did with the Defenders. Now, in future issues, there was Ant-Man, and that didn't seem to work so well, so Ant-Man never really got his own series. This particular comic lasted 12 issues, whereas Marvel Premiere, I think, lasted like 55, 60 issues, and Marvel Spotlight, I don't remember exactly how many issues, but there was a lot of really good, influential stuff debuted in these 3 comics. The Defenders being really the only big thing that came out of Marvel Feature. But somebody came up with the idea of who are the most powerful Marvel heroes, and somebody said, well, it's Submariner, the Hulk, and Doctor Strange, and then later on, as you'll see, that it was also the Submariner. And he said, well, let's make a team of all of them. Let's make the most powerful Marvel superheroes and make a team. So that's the origin of the Defenders. So the origin is, the comic is just, hey, let's make some new, put together some new stuff. And Stan did that so he wouldn't have to come up with like a new comic every time he had a new idea. He could just throw it in a future issue of Marvel Feature. It was already, the trade dress and the infrastructure was already in place to make a new comic. And second off, he didn't want to be embarrassed if he came up with a new comic and it got canceled due to low sales in 3 issues. If one particular issue of Marvel Feature didn't sell too good, well, maybe the next issue would sell better. So, there you go. So here we have the Defenders. And this was 25 cents, but look at this. This is like an annual size. This is a double size comic. And here we have Stan Lee as the editor, Roy Thomas is the writer, and Ross Andru is the artist. I said that wrong. Stan Lee is the editor, Roy Thomas is the writer, and Ross Andru is the artist. Bill Everett, inker, Sam Rosen, letter. So let's just talk about this wonderful team of creators over here. Pardon me, excuse me. You all know how I feel about Stan Lee. Stan Lee is just amazing. We wouldn't have Marvel Comics. We wouldn't have much of any of the superhero stuff or comic book stuff that we enjoy today without Stan Lee. Roy Thomas, he was one of the first of the second wave of Marvel writers that was hired by Stan Lee himself. He was like a kid, like 16, 17 years old. And this guy, I've often described him as a walking encyclopedia of alt in comic books, and not just Marvel, DC also. This guy is he's still around and he's still doing comics. I think he has Alter Ego is his magazine, and this guy just knows everything. And he wrote so much, and then later on he became an editor, and then he became editor-in-chief of Marvel for a little while. And Ross Andru, where do you know that name before? Well, he was one half of the creator of the Doom Patrol over at DC Comics. Just a great superhero artist. And Bill Everett, why do you know that name? Because he created that guy. He is the artist who created the Submariner, and just one of the original, not just Marvel artists, but comic book artists. So I don't even know his age at this point. And then Sam Rosen is the letterer, and unfortunately, after giving everybody else such wonderful accolades, I don't know much about him other than he was a workhorse Marvel letterer. And there was the Hulk. So let's look at the indicia. I don't even want to hazard a guess. Marvel, 1971. Okay. Number 1, December 1971. I was going to say 70, so it's a good thing I didn't say anything. So, this book wants to close, and I'm being very ginger with it. So that's Doctor Strange's house in Greenwich Village. And there's like a spell around the house, so you can't find it unless you need to find it. So like regular people walking by don't notice it, and apparently it's not in the best of neighborhood. And the legend has it that they say it's back in Greenwich Village with its sole tenant. Okay, but legend have it that there was an apartment building at this address. I forget the exact address, but it was where Roy Thomas was actually living at the time. So he made Doctor Strange's house his address. And there's Wong. Now, they changed Wong for the movie, and I don't blame them, because Wong is his servant. He was basically given to him by the Ancient One. So, like, you could argue, is it his slave? Is it his servant? I don't know. I don't know, and I best not delve into it. So here's Wong. Doctor Strange just chilling out in his costume, and this chest symbol, you can see it right there. That's the symbol of the Vishanti. That's like a triumvirate of sorceress beings that I don't want to say Doctor Strange worships, but he serves, and they're the ones that they are the source that grants him the power to make sorcery. So that's what sorcery is. Sorcery is tapping into sources, and the Vishanti are they're like these good beings that bestow upon him power. Here he is releasing his astral form and going out and doing stuff. See the doctor. So they were referencing a story that didn't happen yet, and it just looks wonderfully like Steve Ditko. And here we just, the storytelling is really good. I'm not even reading the words, and it's been a billion years since I read this, so I'm following this already. This is better than any of the other Defenders comics that I showcased. And it's funny how the Defenders went from Hulk, Doctor Strange, Silver Surfer, and Submariner to Nighthawk, and all the second tier. So here we have all these people. Just look at that guy's face. Look at that's just wonderful machinery. Ross Andrews did a lot of imaginative stuff over the Doom Patrol. So I always thought the Doom Patrol kind of had like a lot of hokiness, stuff like that. And I could see like Bill Everett is tempering Ross Andrews, maybe his fantastical stuff, from giving it a little bit more like real world weight, or maybe that's just the Marvel editorial coming down on him. But look, so here these people are serving. So if I remember correctly, that person in the bed was like wounded doing these like science fiction and sorceress machinery to I think he was trying to like overlay two dimensions, so like his masters could exist at the same point. So here we but Doctor Strange, he's a little outclassed. The Undying Ones. We met before, so he's going to get allies. So he talks to Submariner, and Submariner is a prick. There's no other way to describe him. Half the time he's attacking humanity, the other half he's helping humanity. Again, I never freaking cough until I turn on this camera. And John Byrne always explained that he was bipolar, and it was because of his amphibious nature. If he spent too much time out of the water, he went crazy. And if he spent too much time underwater, he went crazy. So he had to like balance, I thought that was a brilliant explanation to explain his mood swings. So here they're talking about the Silver Surfer. See, to me, he's probably the most powerful Marvel hero. He's got the power cosmic, which is basically the power to do whatever you want. So they're talking about this. I think the Silver Surfer's been trapped, whatever. And here's the Hulk. So now I love the way that the body, the astral form is like leaping out of his body. And here he's talking to the Hulk. And they're talking. It is a lesser known Hulk ability, and Peter David referenced it a few times. Hulk has the ability to see ghosts. Maybe his gamma irradiated eyes or whatever pseudoscience explanation, but Hulk could see ghosts. That power has been used a few times. So here he is seeing the astral form, and here they are. They're getting the band together for the first time. Look at this like lightning cage that he makes, and here they are going in, and illusions are being made to make everybody look normal, and creepy little keep that's protected. So it's a installation with like some sort of doomsday apparatus that's protected magically. Look at Doctor Strange's spells bouncing off it. Hulk's laughing at him. Submariner's like, you got to keep talking, Submariner, and he's like, I'll go in if Hulk's afraid, So he's who es muy macho, El Hulk or El Submariner. So there you go. Look at that. That's just so cool. That's smashing. I like Bill Everett's Out Cold. I can't recall this. International Correspondence School. So this guy doesn't want to work physical anymore, so he's going to go home and be a secretary. There you go. That's cool. Muscle building tools. So here you go. Look, you don't see this stuff. I keep saying that. In the 70s, I guess people were more physically active. I mean, look at all this cool muscle gear, you know. Before video games, before sitting down for 6 hours a day became normal. So here they are all in one panel. Look at that goofy face. I like this. They're both, what the name of it? Don't touch me not. I don't know what's going on there, but they're gonna. Can you imagine getting punched by the Hulk and the Submariner? Magic shield or not? That's your Dr. Paste instead of Doctor Strange. So the Eye of Agamotto is bouncing off of him, and what's going on? He turns the tables on him, uses the magic, and there's something. That fight would just level a building thwap, as this ominous big brother face on the camera. You can't get in here. Doctor Strange is doing all the heavy lifting, it looks like, figuring out everything. And, you know, say what you want. The Defenders, Defenders to me never had the great story. Like the Avengers had the Korvac saga, the Ultron attack, Kang, the Masters of Evil. Like all of these were great stories. Fantastic Four had, first off the origin and Doctor Doom attacks and this monster, and the rise of the Inhumans, and Galactus coming. So many great. I could go on for 20 minutes talking about all the great Fantastic Four stories. But the Defenders, they never had the great stories. I could say the same thing about Ghost Rider. They just, and that's what makes a comic an A-list as opposed to B-list. When there's Doctor Strange with the mask, when he kind of like lost a little bit of his humanity. But if you ask me, when a comic has the defining story, it really elevates it from B to A. And this is I'm going to say this is old Bill Everett. Yeah, this is a reprint of some Golden Age Submariner. I was going to close it after the Defenders, but now look at that. That is really, really cool. Look at that. My friend Mike has been getting into Golden Age comics. And I have to admit that I know the Silver Age and the Bronze Age and whatever. I do not know too much about the Golden Age. I got a collection of Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman Golden Age, their original runs. It's a trade paperback. It was only like $12, and I'm reading them, and I have to say I am appreciating them. But look at these, the original Atlanteans, just really cool, really cool. Be patient. Who is it? Is this his mother, Lady Fen? No, Namor. This is Submariner's cousin. I should have realized that because she wasn't blue. Namor is Flesh Mutant cousin. More about her at another time. So, yeah, there's something about the Lady Fen's family that has this mutant gene that goes through them. And so there's three of them. There's Namor and Namorita and Namor. Look at these submarines are pushing icebergs around. Just so cool. Look at that. That's a great drawing. That is great. Wham. That's nothing much here. Just the silhouette of the ship. I'm sorry. I'm just getting caught up in this. Look at this. I just love the murkiness. It's one of my comic book pet peeves. Is whenever they show an undersea city, they never. It's always built in terms of a world in a. Like an air-breathing world. Like there's no need for steps. The entrance could be at the top rather than at the bottom and stuff like that. And but it's always just, oh look, it's underwater. You just draw wavy lines and fish to remind the readers that they're under. Meanwhile, they're walking on the, they're walking as if there's no water. Everybody would be floating around. That's why I like that Alan Moore with the aquatic vampire story, because he when it was underwater, it was creepy and underwater. Like this guy grabs Namor. Just cool. I'm going quick because I had no intention to showing this. I kind of forgot this was in here, to be honest. Look at these. They almost look like the old Max Fleischer cartoons. I wonder if and then boom. You could finish high school at home. Prepare for a better job with better pay. Too Skinny, comic book new list, back issues. I wish I paid attention to that as a kid. I would have saved myself some money right away, getting some old old comics. What's going on over here? Just Doctor Strange. So this is a new Doctor Strange story. So they're just retelling his origin. I'm going to skip this because I'm actually going to show the Doctor Strange origin. But let's look at the checklist. Fantastic Four 115, the origin of the Overmind. This was a weird period in Fantastic Four history. This was after Stan Lee and Jack Kirby left. So it was like a weird period. Continuity was a little weird. Spider-Man 101, Thor 192, The Demolisher, Avengers 92, Our Assemblers scorned by an Earth they saved, Captain America hunted renegade, Hulk 144. Is this the first? No, Hulk 142 was the first Doc Samson, I think. Falcon, Iron Man 42, the girl loved Tony Stark, but now she's become the Queen of Demons. Submariner, Daredevil 80, Astonishing Tales, Conan, Marvel feature, and whatever. You got Charles Atlas. So here, king size Thor. And what's going on here? Oh, this isn't the... There's Wong. Look at that. I've seen you perform a clever disguise, nothing more. Is he the... If he is the truth, let him test it with the spell. Whoever you are, you done... Blah, 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 blah. What's going on? Doctor Strange once wore this blue mask for a little while, and I think he gave up something. He became like a little colder, a little darker. That's the ancient one from the comics. He was an old Tibetan guy, and I think that's one of the reasons they don't want to have any reference to it to a Tibetan monk, so they made him a Celtic woman in the movie to appease China. Otherwise, he looks just like Tilda Swinton. Just amazing how much he looks like Tilda Swinton. So here's some battling. Definitely going for the Kirby look. I mean, the Ditko look. This comic hasn't been opened up in decades, so it's giving me a little bit of difficulty. I apologize for that. It's hard to do one-handed. So here we go. Under the mask, it's Baron Mordue. That's Baron Mordue in the comics. He was a white guy from like a Germanic place. Either that or like maybe like a Romanian place. See, here we go. So Baron Mordue came in and tried to take over, which is what he does. Nothing great. No great story. Do you need extra money? $100 is yours. Yeah, give me $100. You write away to this, they just give you $100. The Cheerful Card Company. It's just so cheerful. They're very pleasant. They send you cards like, here you go, here's $100. So the first 3 issues were the Defenders, and then after that, like 4 to 6, if I remember correctly, was Ant-Man, and then after Ant-Man, it was the Thing and the Thing teaming up with somebody else. So when this got canceled, it did a pretty good job, because from these 12 issues, we got the Defenders, the Ant-Man, nothing really happened, but we also got Marvel 2-in-1. So they saw that the Thing teaming up with somebody else was pretty popular. That was kind of like stumbled along as an accident, and it turned out to be the most popular thing out of this comic. Just taking a sip of coffee. So I would consider this 12 issues a success. We have the Defenders, Ant-Man, and Marvel 2-in-1 all sprung out of this. So here you go. This is the birth of the Defenders. I think next issue the Silver Surfer joins, or maybe issue 3 he joins. And you truly have Marvel's 4 most powerful superheroes all in one comic. You know, they had just gone after planet class threats. It was a lot of these were like H.P. Lovecraft type creatures like Yuma-Gorath and Chthon and these unspeakable demons and alien demons and cosmic horrors. It was a fun comic, kind of hokey, and then ultimately you could miss it. I always thought the Defenders were in their own little corner of the Marvel universe. So there you go. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. This Marvel features #1, the first appearance of the Defenders. Bye bye.